From Washington, this is VOA News. Coming up, the latest on the Syrian conflict, plus Cyprus crisis burns Russian investors. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Norman. Mortar fire killed as many as 15 students at Syria's Damascus University Thursday. State-run Syrian television blamed those attacks on people it calls terrorists, the government's word for the rebels trying to topple President Bashar al-Assad. Pro-opposition Syrian Observatory for Human Rights also reported the bombing, but did not say who is responsible. Meantime, Turkey denies reports that it deported up to 700 Syrian refugees after riots broke out in a camp near the Turkish-Syrian border this week. That camp hosts 35,000 Syrians. Former South African President Nelson Mandela is reported to be improving after being hospitalized late Wednesday. Maharaj is a spokesperson for President Jacob Zuma.
It's a recurrence of his lung infection. They are doing everything possible to keep him comfortable and have it treated. But at the same time, we need to bear in mind that the doctors are taking no chances and doing everything possible as quickly as possible when they detect a recurrence of the lung infection.
Maharaj, a longtime friend of the Nobel Peace Laureate, said Mr. Mandela is responding positively to treatment, remains under observation. Nelson Mandela spent nearly 3 decades in prison for opposing apartheid in South Africa and became a symbol of the nation's peaceful transition to a democratic government after decades of suppression by the white minority. He became South Africa's first black president in 1994. Banks across Cyprus reopened on Thursday, almost 2 weeks after being shut down as the island near economic collapse. Depositors formed long lines on the sidewalks and streets outside their banks long before the doors were unlocked on Thursday, anxiously awaiting access to their accounts. Banking crisis is shaking company boardrooms thousands of kilometers away to the north in Russia. James Brooke reports.
Cyprus offered low taxes, low regulation, and the security of the Eurozone. Russians now have $32 billion deposited in banks in Cyprus. Mark Galeotti, an international affairs professor at New York University, tracks Russian money movements. He explains why some Russians have chosen to place their money in Cyprus banks.
It's been the den for all kinds of dirty money, criminal money, but also just simply money that just avoiding tax in Russia.
All that ended this week with the Cyprus banking crisis and the decision to slap 40% taxes on all deposits over $130,000. James Brooke, VOA News, Moscow.
U.S. military said it sent warplanes to the Korean Peninsula as a show of deterrence directed at North Korea. The B-2 bombers flew 20,000 kilometers nonstop on Thursday from an Air Force base in the central U.S. to an island off the southwestern coast of the Korean Peninsula before returning to their home base. The mission was held amid increasing threats by North Korea against South Korea and the United States. U.S. Defense Chief Chuck Hagel linked the B-2 flights to recent North Korean provocations. Thailand has opened its first peace talks with a major Muslim rebel group, even as insurgents were blamed for yet another deadly attack in the country's south. Thai officials say reducing violence and establishing mutual trust were the main goals of the talks with the National Revolution Front, or BRN, in the Malaysian capital, Kuala Lumpur. Malaysian-based BRN is just one of several armed groups fighting an insurgency that has claimed more than 5,000 lives in 9 years in Thailand's mainly Muslim south. U.S. stock markets closed at record highs on Thursday, with the main indexes gaining 10% or more in the first 3 months of the year. Now the sound of the closing bell in the markets as measured by the S&P 500 index and the Dow Jones Industrial Index have been now surpassed, above levels not seen since October of 2007, before the benchmark shed more than $10 trillion in value during a 2+ year financial crisis. White House says President Obama will release his 2014 federal budget proposal on April the 10th. Under the law, the president was supposed to submit a budget on February 4th, but the White House aides said on Thursday the back and forth in Congress over the 2013 government spending and taxation delayed the release of the president's proposal for next year. Get more news by going to our website at voanews.com.